Good morning, All Souls. Good morning. My name is Keith Arnold, Director of Music and Arts, pronouns he and him. And if you are here today, you are here for a music-filled service. Welcome, welcome. In that line, I'd like to teach you the refrain of a song that we will all be invited to sing at the end of the service. You can find lyrics in the order of service. Here are some musical notes on the screens. And so the choir and I will sing this once and then invite you to join us for a few more times all together. It goes like this. We were born in love to a circle that's one, each in each, all in all. We were born in love to a circle that's one. Here we go. We were born in love to a circle that's one, each in each, all in all. We were born in love to a circle that's one. One more time. We were born in love to a circle that's one, each in each, all in all. We were born in love to a circle that's one. Super. We'll be singing that at the end of the service, some 75, 60 minutes from now. So keep it there. We'll have a good time with it. Welcome to All Souls.
Good morning, All Souls. Our faith proclaims that each one of us is lovable and already loved. We are born not flawed, but blessed. The work of our lives is to embody that blessing, to nurture it, to allow it to grow and blossom, and then to pass that blessing along. I'm Reverend Bill Sinkford, pronouns he and him. Welcome to worship here at All Souls. Welcome those gathered in the sanctuary, and welcome those gathering with us online. Our service this morning is somewhat different in form, as you will see. On this bright June morning, this is an opportunity for us in word and in music and in movement to focus on our blessings and the blessing that we are becoming. Come now, and let us worship together. We light our chalice each week to kindle the flame of community. We light our chalice in faith, in hope, and in love. And now I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join in our chalice lighting song.
This is what happens when you're not very tall. Good morning, All Souls.
Good morning.
Happy Pride. And happy month of Juneteenth. My name is Greta Goodwin, and I am your worship associate today. My pronouns are she, her. For more than 20 years, for more than 200 years, our congregation has sought to live up to the vision inherent in our name, All Souls. Together, we embrace our mission to create a diverse, spirit-growing, justice-seeking, beloved community that transforms ourselves and our world into one great family of all souls. We are Unitarian Universalists, diverse in many ways, but united in our belief in the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and in the obligation to express our faith through acts of justice and compassion. You are welcome here. No matter who you are, where you come from, how you identify, or who you love, you are welcome here. If you're visiting for the first time or you still feel new here, please raise your hand in person or if you're on the Zoom so we can give you an All Souls welcome. Are there any visitors? Our weekly bulletin is a great way to find out the latest news. Sign up through the link on the All Souls homepage. Please know that later in the service, we'll have an opportunity to move about the sanctuary and meet one another, and also for those on Zoom. So we'll all be able to say hello to ourselves. Today, we honor the great legacy of both indigenous and enslaved peoples at this international crossroads, now called Washington, D.C. For generations, Piscataway tribes have been the traditional caretakers of our bioregion. The people of the waters lived along the Anacostia and the Potomac rivers. Our church has occupied 3 sites on stolen Native American lands within unjust systems that continue to benefit from Black and immigrant labor. The heritage of all these ancestors is still here in this region and in our congregation. Our land acknowledgement sets an intention to educate ourselves and acknowledge that something should be done to repair the harm. Our commitments to the beloved community and to the 8th principle also call us to the doing. We are working with the All Souls Justice Ministries to make ideological solidarity concrete. The 8th principle calls us to the doing. Again, I want to say welcome to All Souls. Yeah, I'm still here, I'm not going away. Today's focus is on blessings, a special favor, a mercy, a gift, or a benefit. Blessings show up in many ways, and sometimes we don't recognize them until after the fact. I'm working on paying more attention to that. One of my favorite gospel songs by Tasha Cobbs Leonard is, "I'm counting my blessings, naming them one by one." Let's try to make certain we name our blessings one by one. And I'll try one right now. When my niece and nephew were preteens and teenagers, and they would become upset with their parents, mostly they were upset with their father, they'd often call me to express concern about my brother. When they were upset with him, he wasn't their dad, he was my brother. I would hear them out, we'd talk things through. I never passed judgment. They'd calm down and we'd hang up. A few hours later, their mom and their dad would each send me separate texts with 2 words, "Thank you." I never knew what happened after I got off the phone with them. I never asked. As we've all gotten older, the calls don't come as much, but they do still come. I can clearly see how their calls, but really the trust that they placed in me, how they ended the call much calmer, how their parents respected the fact that the calls needed to happen, and how their parents never asked me about the call. All of that those were blessings. They were blessings for all of us. and they still refer to him as my brother when they're upset with him. So June is LGBTQ plus Pride Month. Our Share the Plate recipient this month is the DC Center for LGBTQ Community. The center educates, celebrates, and connects lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender communities. Their work focuses on 4 core areas: health and wellness, arts and culture, social and peer support, and advocacy and community building. If you're in the sanctuary, the ushers will be passing the plate for our offering. You can also text your offering to All Souls by texting 73256 to ASCU. If you're on the Zoom, click the link in the chat, which will direct you to the All Souls online giving. We thank you in advance for your generosity. And again, happy Pride.
These next weeks will be a time of farewells and of welcoming here at All Souls. The transitions continue. Next Sunday, June 9th, will be Jubilee Director Carl DuPont's last Sunday with us. What a blessing his gifts have been for us this year. Next week will also be my last sermon as your transitional minister, and the following Sunday, June 16th, will be my last time with you here in worship. And June 30th will be Reverend Louise's last service with All Souls as well. And on July 7th, Reverend Anastasia Zinke, the new developmental minister, will preach her first sermon here in the sanctuary. The transitions continue, and this community needs to hold both the gratitude and the grief and loss, and hold your hearts open to welcome the new blessings that are arriving. That's serious spiritual work. And today is the All Souls annual congregational meeting. All right. All members of the community are welcome, including those who are attending online today, and I hope that you all plan to stay. After our service this morning, there will be a light lunch available. Is pizza considered a light lunch? I'm not entirely sure. That's in Pierce Hall, out to the doors on your right for those of you who are still newish here. Please be back in the sanctuary in person or signed in on Zoom by 12:45, please, so that the annual meeting can start on time. And during this service this morning, we will be doing a blessing of our hands with a few drops of water. If you're online, please have a cup or a glass of water in addition to your coffee by your side so that you can take part. And finally, it is my great pleasure to introduce one of our worship leaders. Reverend Wendy Williams is the senior minister of the Jefferson Unitarian Church in Golden, Colorado, another of the large UU congregations. Some of you will remember that Keith Arnold served as minister of music at Golden before coming to All Souls. Wendy and Keith wrote the words and composed the music of the cantata that we will experience this morning. Wendy is a dear friend of mine and a valued colleague. She is, among many other things, the past president of the Unitarian Universalist Ministers Association. And I am so glad to welcome you, Wendy, to the All Souls pulpit. Let's give her a hand. We now turn to the concerns of the members of the congregation. For those of you who have not heard the news, much beloved and longtime member Molly Freeman died unexpectedly a week ago in New Jersey, near the family's home there. Molly had been in the sanctuary just the week before for the plant sale that she and Bob had been instrumental in creating. We send condolences to Molly's family with her children and grandchildren who are not with us this morning, though they had hoped to be. A celebration of Molly's life will be planned for later in this summer or in the fall. And I know that there are other names that are being held in the hearts here this morning. Feel free to speak them now into the silence, or to type them into the chat, or to simply hold them in a moment of silence. Will you pray with me now? Spirit of life, Spirit of love, come unto us. Be with us. be within us. Help us hold hope in our hearts, even as we hold the hurts. Help us know that there is power and healing in love. The proof is in the power of love in our lives. Help us trust that beloved community is still a possible dream, because we can build it here. Help us hold the faith. Help us live the faith, and be the blessing that our lives can be, the blessing that we are called to become, and that our world so badly needs. Ashe and amen.
Good morning, family of All Souls. It is a blessing to be with you. It is a blessing to see Reverend Bill Sinkford again. And it's been a blessing since Thursday night to be with your choir, and just yesterday with this extraordinary orchestra that Brother Keith has assembled. And of course, it is a delight to be with Brother Keith again. I know that for those of you who came here this morning, a service called Awakening to Blessing may have landed a little funny. Blessing is not necessarily a word that we use commonly. Too often we defer to another the power to bless. As a hospital chaplain, just after 9 months of seminary, as a hospital chaplain, I regularly had the experience of walking into a critical care patient's room. The patient would be unconscious. The family would be crowded around. Most of them were touching the patient. Some of them were crying. They were speaking quietly to each other and to the patient. And when I entered the room, they immediately let go of their loved one. And they pulled away from the bed, and they got really quiet. It was clear to me that the family thought that I could do something they could not. As you will hear in one of the movements, I told the family that if there were words to be spoken, it was their voices that should speak them. The blessing was theirs to give, but they presumed it was not. John O'Donohue is a priest who left the religious life to become poet and philosopher. His memory continues to be a blessing, and he shared a similar story. As a new priest, he went to visit a covenant. You see how deeply Unitarian Universalist I am. He went to visit a convent. There's the word. As he had been assigned to do. An elder sister opened the door for him. She received the priest earnestly, and she requested a blessing from him. She knelt before him, of course, and called him Father. O'Donohue was overcome by the irony of it all. As he wrote, here was a woman who had spent over 60 years of her life navigating the searing silence and the darkness of God. Yet she was asking a 25-year-old for his blessing. So it was that when she stood, he decided that he would kneel before her and request her blessing. She was so taken aback. Now, for the former Catholics in the room, you're with me on this. She was so taken aback. She just mumbled something and ran out of the room. Right? They were both, you see, mired in a system that made them think that only one of them was qualified to bless. Now, while our system may not be quite as defined, we may all unconsciously feel that some are qualified to bless and others are not. Many of us may not have even considered what it means to offer a blessing. O'Donohue asked this, but who has the power to bless? The question is not about institutional status. When you bless another, he said, you first gather yourself. You reach below the surface of the mind and personality, down to a deep resource within you, namely your soul. Blessing is from soul to soul. To this Unitarian Universalist, that made so much sense. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. Those are the words of Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker, as you know. You have heard them set to music. You know Reverend Dr. Parker very well. Whether we hear them as music or as spoken word, they are an encounter with our theology. There is a love that birthed us and holds us, and none of us are more, and none of us are less than any other. All of us are held in love. No exceptions. We struggle with that part. No exceptions. You see, we can't always make sense of it in these human minds trained in the ways of hierarchy and competition, where we are practiced at striving and achieving and trying to outdistance all the things that we fear, those inadequacies, those others, failure, aging, death, just to name a few. Yet our forebears knew we are in this life together. We are in this life together. We need one another. Everyone in the world matters. We can and we do bless each other. And when we do bless each other, we offer a refuge from a world that can be indifferent or cruel, a world that would have us forget that our liberation is collective. Blessing, then, is about being present to ourselves and each other in a way that connects, strengthens, and heals. Despite our shared values that center love and our collective dream of beloved community, too often, our own fears and not enoughness win the day. We forget our connection to each other, and we forget our power. How could it be? As John O'Donohue explained, to be in the world at all is to be distant from the homeland of wholeness. To be in the world at all is to be distant from the homeland of wholeness. And yet, here we are siblings in the struggle. We're all just walking each other home, as Ram Dass put it, oblivious at the time to his then ableist point of view. To be open to blessing, then, to be open to blessing, we had to return in this cantata to the blessing of being a part of the cosmos, the blessing of being alive, the blessing of our own soul, and in that return find anew our theology that no matter what we think of ourselves, no matter what we think of ourselves and no matter what others have said to us, there is a wholeness within that remains whole and undamaged. In this music, then, that you're about to experience, that you're about to be pulled into, we hope we return together to the love that birthed us and holds us still. We hope the music restores us to that place of unity and wholeness. For as O'Donohue wrote, when we bless, we somehow go beyond our present frontiers and reach into the source of ourselves, our core self that dovetails with the infinite. When we bless someone, we call forth the force of their infinite self and our own. And so it is that Keith Arnold and I decided we must create songs, a whole cantata, a word I didn't really even know so many years ago, that reminded us of the blessing of our birth, the power we have in this day, and that every day we are called to live into the gift that is the day. We will invite you somewhere in the middle We will invite you to let us bless you, to bless your hands for all that you do and will do for others. And we will remind you that no matter how tender or inadequate any of us feel, we are invited. We are invited. We are actually called to be present and to bless each other by seeing and holding one another. We will conclude in celebration for the oneness that birthed us and holds us and urges us always towards compassion. So wherever it is you came from this morning, whatever it is that burdens your heart, whether you are springing from the warm sunshine or you're worn down from all that you've been doing and all of the news, I again bid you welcome to this day. I invite you to breathe into this space and to let yourself be fully here, to be blessed and to be blessing, to be called into this world, to be chosen for these days, to be blessed by this life. So breathe. This is the time we have chosen to be blessed anew and strengthened by a blessing. awakened to love. Being is becoming. Being is not a coat fitted to us but once. It is an invitation to breathe deep into the gift that is our day. We have not arrived. We are not cast in stone. Beating hearts, cells made new, we grow, we change, we meet and are met. Becoming, becoming, always becoming. No map prepares our path. Living opens us. Love awakens us. All that has been unfolds into all yet to be. Attention, midwives becoming. We flow into wholeness, sensing our own belonging, becoming, becoming, always becoming. We are about to move into that time that I forewarned you about, that time of blessing with a hand blessing. But before I get to you all, I want to speak to the people online. I want you to know, friends, that we feel your presence here in the sanctuary, and we really want you to be a part of this ritual. You were invited by Reverend Bill to have a bit of water near you. Coffee may be a blessing to you, but this is not the time for coffee. We want your hands to be blessed as well. Now, we know that not everyone's hands actually do their work. Not everyone's hands actually do work. We know that not everyone has hands. And still, we want everyone who wishes to receive a blessing to be a part of this ritual. So if you had a chance to collect that bit of water beforehand, maybe it's a glass, maybe it's a cup, maybe it's a bowl, it doesn't matter. But just take a few moments. In a few moments, I'm going to invite you to put a bit of that water on your fingertips or whatever, and put it in the palm of your other hand. To do that however you best understand it. Before we do that, though, I want you to, and I invite the folks in the sanctuary to do this as well, to just hold your hands out and look at them. Think of all the things they do in a day without notice or thanks. Think of all the things those hands have made, the things they've cleaned, written, held in your life. And let us bless them. So first, my friends online, please now get a bit of water on your hand and drop that into the other. Let it fall into your hand. And you can just gently rub that together as I offer you this blessing. Blessed be the work of your hands. We have been strengthened by your gifts. You are and have always been a blessing. And as the folks at home or elsewhere are finishing up, I'll speak to you, Sanctuary of Beloveds. As the orchestra plays and the choir sings, in a moment we will move about to a blessing station. I know you didn't think this church had blessing stations, but it does. It really does. There are 4 blessing stations on the main floor here and 2 in the balcony. If you are at a blessing station, will you wave to the people here? Okay. So you can see that there is an officiant at each of the blessing stations to offer you a blessing. So as the music goes, just take a moment and find the blessing station closest to you and move towards that blessing station. Remember, this is not the time of hip checking. There will be plenty of time during this piece for you to get blessed. So if you would just move towards the nearest station, that would be lovely. Blessed be the work of your hands.
These are the hands that have touched love. These are the hands that have reached out. By them we're blessed for all that they've done. Thanks be for them and the work of our hands.
Before offering the benediction, I have a couple of things. The first is to remind you, as Bill said, that you have a congregational meeting. And thank you. Would you follow me back to Denver, please? So please do get over to Pierce Hall, get your light lunch of pizza, which I'm from Wisconsin. It is a light lunch in Wisconsin. Second thing I just want to say to you all is a big thank you. And doggone it, congratulations on your new director of music and worship arts. Will you join me in the spirit of prayer? Spirit of life and love, mystery, circle of love, that which is beyond all names. This family of all souls has been preaching the good word of being a circle of love for a long time. Remind us that we can bless one another. We can strengthen each other. We can lean into the center of the circle of belonging. Remind us that in being we are blessed, but it is in becoming that we are blessing. Strengthen us this day in courage and conviction to be the blessing that we all need. Go in peace. Go in love. Celebrate this day and be the blessing only you can be. Amen.